Hey everybody, welcome on the glide slope. I had a request to do some more night flights, and given that I've got some night pattern work coming up in my real world lessons, I thought this would be a good time. So today we're going to do something that I'll probably do in the real world. We're going to take off from my local strip, fly about 7 or 8 minutes west, do a couple touch and goes at a second strip, and then fly back to the home strip. So without any further ado, we'll get things working here. All right, seems to be working. Let's turn on some lights. There we go. Turn on some radios. There we go. Should we go with nav lights? No, I think they're too bright. Let's see how it looks. Pardon me touching the camera there. Do we light things up too much? I think we'll go with them on. They're not too bright. And yeah, I think that's okay. And get ready to go here. Let's see, we've got to turn on our taxi lights. And we'll turn our landing lights on in a second. We'll keep our strobe off for a minute. Turn off the flashlight. There we go. Now we can see where we're going. Looks like we're taking off from 27. Stutters. Since this new Windows came out, I'm getting stutters. Doesn't make me happy. Those are too bright for me. I'm going to turn those off. Quick run up here. We are in the Piper Cherokee. Thousand RPM. Magneto check. Looks good. Everything's in the green. Carb heat works. Continue our taxi. We are on the extended threshold. We are on the center line. Our gyro and our compass agree. Full power. Airspeed's alive on the center line. Rotation speed. Let the airplane accelerate. There's our VY. We make a safety turn right here in the real world to 300. Because there's a field over here we could find if we needed it. And we're climbing. Just going to climb to about 2,500. What we would do in the real world. All right. 2,500 feet. Back off to about 2,400 RPM. That's our airport right out there. At least I believe it is. landing on 2.9. Get our heading bug set for that. Night lighting an X-plane is something that never gets old. At least not for me. This is such a great job. Pattern altitude of this field is 1,500 feet. Now I see the beacon. We'll enter on the crosswind. We can actually enter on the upwind now that I think about it. So we'll set up to do that. Start coming down to pattern altitude. Tell them that we're going to be entering on the upwind for 2.9. Could actually get Chester's AWAS, but I don't remember what it is. And I don't have my phone with me, and I don't have the maps with me. Check on the radio, but presume it's the same winds that we had before. I downloaded the updated textures. The updated, there's a config file for lighting on the org. It's got the night lighting looking really realistic. Not that it doesn't already, but okay, coming to pattern altitude here. There's the train, or the steel yard. Tell them that we're entering on the upwind for 2.9er. Turn on our landing lights so people can see us. This is usually about where I would turn onto my upwind leg. Smooth as silk tonight. That's the highway underneath us there. There's our runway. About where we want to be. We're at the numbers. Power back. Fuel pump on. Carb heat on. First notch flaps. Call our base. We turned a little too late there. I thought that our downwind leg was nice and wide enough, but I guess not. It's alright, we're in a fine spot for this strip here. Next flaps. You can tell from the poppy that we're a little high, or the Vazzy. Feel like we have a little bit of a crosswind here. And we're high. And we have a stutter. We're way high. It's a 5,000 foot strip. We'll just fly the airplane. And at some point here we need to kick the rudder over. That was painful as landings go. Flaps up, carb heat off. We're on the go. See if we do better the second time around. See if we can get over this tree down here. Take a look at that windsock. Yeah, we've got a direct crosswind. That's something to keep in mind. Cleared the trees. Give her another go. Try to fly it with the timing for the turns that I would have in the real world. I've flown this pattern enough that I know about how long it takes. That's one reason that that base turn was less time than we thought it would be. Is that we had a tailwind. Turn downwind. There we go. We'll be ready for that tailwind this time. Trim the airplane. Cool seeing the traffic go by. Don't know if anybody noticed, but we landed on the wrong runway. We were supposed to cross over and fly from the other way, but it looked like I had the wind correct. Alright, well, let's do it the right way. Let's fly our crosswind here. And come in to make the correct approach. It is 12 o'clock at night. I have had a long day. It is a good thing this is a simulation. Alright. Now we're going to have a headwind on base. 0 is about right. If I had listened to the AWAs, that would have been a check against my runway choice. If I'm ever going to land the wrong way on a runway, I'm glad I did it here and now. Alright, we'll try this correct way. I seem to remember there's a tree that the autogen places directly in front of this airport. I'll have to modify the exclusion zone to fix it. But we may fly right through it, so don't be surprised if that happens. There's our touchdown point. Throttle back. Fuel pump. Landing light. Carb heat. First notch. There's some terrain here you pay attention to in the real world. Okay, let's turn base. Boy, these buildings look so realistic. It's crazy. Alright, this looks just about like it should. Trim. Turn. Next notch. A little high, that's okay. Take out a little power. Final flaps. Pitch for about 70. Right about here. Our sink. There's that tree. Fly right through it. Scared me when it came up. Upward sloping runway, just like it is in the real world. Okay, flaps. Carb heat. On the go. Rotate. Okay. Got a noise abatement turn here we're supposed to make on this departure. Right about here. Okay, and this time we're going to go back to the barn. Make our turn onto the crosswind leg. Turn downwind, the correct downwind, not the wrong downwind that I flew the first time around. we'll keep climbing up to 2,500 feet. I can see the water towers and towers of Westchester, Pennsylvania, which would be my target. So we're flying right at those. You could also just follow the Route 30 bypass snaking off to the side there. That would take us just north of the field. To be able to find it that way. Oh, we're at 3,000 feet. If we don't drop down here in a second, we're going to bust the Bravo and get a bad phone call. Luckily, we're just outside the shelf right here. We should get down here before we get into trouble. One of the things I appreciate about the simulator is when I do use it at times like this where I'm maybe haven't had enough sleep or it's late, it illustrates to me the human factors. I also had a glass of wine or two with dinner. That was hours ago, but still. Okay, we would get the AWAS for our local strip, which is 124.0, but it's not in X-plane, so it doesn't really matter. I have in the scenery a helicopter sitting on the ramp. Brandywine, you can see the flashing lights, its strobes out there. The other thing about the night environment in X-plane is it just looks really alive. All kinds of cars going around. Occasionally you see police cars zooming by. There's flashing beacons. There are cars have taillights as well as headlights. There are elevated obstacles that have different kinds of strobes and lights on them. It's really cool. Okay, we're getting over Westchester. We'll start to come down to 2,000 feet here. Turn to our CTAF, 123.075. Tell them that we're 5 miles west at 2,500 inbound for full stop, left traffic 27. Landing lights so we can be seen. That's all set. There's our airport. You can see the beacon. There goes Westchester off to our left, or our right. Okay, 1,500 feet, pattern altitude. Turn into our pattern. On our downwind leg at just 100 knots, which is about right. There's a massive stutter from a weather load. Crossing over Route 202. Okay, fuel pump on, landing lights are on, strobes are on. Okay, there's our touchdown point. Throttle back, carb heat on. First notch flaps. See the gleaming lights of Philadelphia in the distance. Make our base turn. Next notch. plenty high. In fact, we're a little too high. Make our turn. Airplane trimmed. Full flaps on the glide slope. A little fast. Oh, we're coming in just fine. It's about 70 over the fence. I'm completely out of the throttle, but it's not quite giving me the power cut I'd like. I'm not quite sure why. With the way I have the screen set up, the runway's a lot more narrow on this than it looks in the real world. So there you go, quick night flight. I know it was just pattern work, but something I gotta work on anyway. It's certainly different. It's even different in the sim. I've done a fair amount of flying at night in the sim, but not a lot of pattern work. So that was, I think, useful practice, just to get a sense of sight picture and when there's no visual reference. So there you go. Thanks for watching on the glide slope. If you have any questions about the sim, how it's built, what it runs, power requirements, and the rest, that's cool how the strobes, I tell you, X-Plane gets lighting right, man. The way the strobes are bouncing off that Cessna next to this is really cool. Here, differential braking, this would be no problem, so I don't know why it's a problem now. Just does not want to turn this way. There we go. It's like our friction isn't quite right. Well, this is a very good flight model in this Piper, but some of those details are a little off. Okay, thanks for watching on the glide slope. Everyone have a good night. I'm going to put this baby to bed and hit the rack in the real world. Out of the throttle, magneto check. Avionics. And lights. Thanks for watching on the glide slope.